Hello viewers, I'm SB and welcome to Magehaven, which I guess is the name of the main menu here in Age of Wonders 4. This is, by request, a bunch of people asked if we could check this one out. It just came out yesterday. I'm going to admit I'm going into this with a little bit of trepidation. I feel like I kind of bounced off of Age of Wonders Planetfall, but I don't have a lot of experience with the actual fantasy editions of the game. So let's get in here. You know, I like a strategy game. I like a 4X. My impression from Planetfall was definitely that it is less of a 4X and more of a like Total War style game where the Empire stuff is like very thin and very easy and mostly exists to lend weight to the outcomes of the battles. We'll see if that feels as true here. But Magehaven, of course, is a sanctuary between worlds. We have pyre-style mouse-over stuff here. From here, powerful rulers called Godir venture to realms within the Astral Sea. As you conquer realms, other Godir will gather in Magehaven and join your pantheon. You'll also gain pantheon experience. Okay, so there's some like metagame unlockables. You know, I've not really seen larger scale strategy games do this kind of thing before, I think. So we are to step through the world gate, and our first adventure awaits. We're going to figure out all of this stuff. There's a lot of lore here, and we are not going to start by reading all of it. Yeah, gosh, astral sea monsters. Okay, whatever. We're just going to step through the world gate. I don't know. I'm going to hit new game.
Choose your destination.
At this point, you are familiar with everything I have seen of this game, and like I said, I didn't really play the previous fantasy installments, so I'm coming in here very cold. We're gonna learn stuff together here. Choose your destination. I feel like an initiation realm probably makes sense. Let's hit this beginner scenario. Clicking on it makes the text disappear. The returning wizard kings first preyed on small, bountiful, harmonic realms to hone their skills. Will you be a protector or invader of this beautiful domain? So am I a wizard king? Not a Godir? Godir are the level below me. Okay. High tier ancient wonders are absent. High tier infestation spawners are absent. Sure. Seems like the right thing to me. Is there a... Yeah, let's... I've played a strategy game or two in my day.
Here, you have the unique ability to create your empire and the people living in it.
Whether they are deep dwarves, mystic elves, or barbarian halflings, they all make excellent followers. As your empire grows, you acquire new tomes of magic, allowing you to evolve your people in the direction you want. Okay. I do want to turn them into undead forms, if that's possible. Necrotic goblins. Oh, that's compelling. Okay, there's a lot of stuff going on here. So it seems like I'm picking a character and like their racial traits as well for the rest of our people. Fiendish rodents. Why the rat people always got to be fiendish? I got a real thing about rats. I just like, if you've ever had rats in real life, you know that there is no fantasy creature that a rat resembles so much as a hobbit, basically. They're just like chubby, friendly little dudes who are concerned mostly with not being around danger and eating constantly. I don't know why we can't just just happy little Shire living rats. Ashbourne hedonists. That's pretty. That's a tall dude, right? What was the basic human? Yeah, that is a tall dude. All right, I don't know what this stuff means, so we're just gonna pick something and kind of figure it out. Well, that's very compelling. Okay, here we go. Necron the Risen it is. The Cruel Deathbringers. What was all this stuff? Human, fast recuperation, cold-blooded. Okay, this stuff is pretty understandable, even without knowing the specific mechanics of the game. So, extra healing on the world map. Cities require less food for more population. Start with an extra tier 1 unit. Units can eat corpses, which is rad. -10 alignments. This game has like a D&D alignment system, I guess. What does dark mean? Okay. This is a lot of, yeah. All right, this is good enough for me. We're gonna figure this all out. So I have heard that some people are having technical issues with this game. My PC is plenty mighty, but we'll see. Hopefully it'll remain stable. A new ruler emerges. Explore your surrounding, expand your domain, prepare to face rivals. Okay, yeah. Do 4x stuff. Sure. We got this Tome of Warning, specializing in magic that protects your units from damage and retaliates against those that attack you. And we have some starting magic. Ice Shackles. So when we get into battle, again, this is all like based on Planetfall. When we get into battle, I'm expecting it to take us into a hex-based strategic, like turn-based battle map. So these are apparently for that. Unit becomes invulnerable for a turn, has all their negative statuses removed. Okay. That stuff seems simple enough.
Wonders dawns.
Allow me to lend some aid, O Archlich. During play, messages like this will provide advice. Click on the question mark in the bottom right to open additional advice. Okay, down here. If you want to reread advice, there's an advice history. Okay.
Take some time to look around and familiarize yourself with your new
Whoa. Okay, the default pan speed is real high, but it's fine. Middle mouse to rotate, R to go back. I love it when games have a reset me to the default rotation button.
Or get a better overview of the world by zooming out.
I'll say this, it's pretty.
Zoom out far enough to reach the... You have reached the overview map. As you explore the world, you will have many threats and opportunities to consider. Use this to inform your strategies.
Okay, the game would like me to know that thinking is a good idea. Alright, so we got our great big city of Drakvech.
You have selected one of your cities. Cities are central to your economy and allow you to build more units for your armies.
Food, draft, and production. Oh, okay. So there's a dedicated military building resource. This is an interesting solution to this problem. You're seeing a lot of strategy games move in the direction of military units having like a population cost with the last like generation or two of these games. And broadly, I think that's a really good idea. I think it's a good idea to have something that prevents you from just spamming units, to make the interplay between economy and military a little bit more interesting, a little less like trivially solvable. I haven't quite seen this approach before. I'm curious to see how this goes. And then production, which you use for like buildings and stuff, right? Gold, mana, Imperium, and knowledge are resources that can be spent on any city, unit, or spell. Imperium represents your authority and reputation, used for founding cities from outposts and taking over conquered cities. Okay, seems important. And then is this basically going to be science? Building research posts, building city structures, collecting pickups. Ooh. Oh, no, sorry, that's gain knowledge by, not spend knowledge for. Okay. Yeah, so it seems like a research currency.
Locations and province improvements located in a city's domain will provide you with income. Structures can be built to improve your city.
Select the hammer located on the right side of the city panel and choose a structure to build, like a storehouse or a workshop, perhaps. So right now we have just raw gold and food generation converts 25% of draft to food. Does the city have just like a base amount of draft income from... Okay, it's mostly from structures. Is there a way to see... What I want is a show me all of the structures that exist already button. Like I want to see where where the draft is coming from. Maybe 20 draft is just like what the core existence of a city does. 20 draft, 40 food, 20 production. And then, yeah, you pick some stuff up, population eats some every turn. Okay. All right. So, sorry. Let's build a thing. They would like me to build a storehouse or a workshop. The storehouse gives 10 food income. I mean, in most games, food is, like, population is king, and as such, food is king, more or less. Over the long term. So yeah, storehouse it is. 7
Cities
turns.
also recruit your units. Units cost upkeep every turn, so keep an eye on your income to ensure you can pay for your units.
Okay, is upkeep... No, upkeep is not always gold. Gold and mana. If you cannot afford this, your units will lose morale, but they don't get, like, disbanded immediately. Out of curiosity, morale, of course, gives combat bonuses. Very low morale increases fumble chance, could lead to routing units in battle, and desertion chance on the world map. Okay, so you can get disbandment if you allow the morale to stay too low for too long. Okay, so we have a structure queue and a unit queue that are actually separate from one another. Recruit a scout unit. So this reads as a ranged unit. Here we go, our outrider. Costs gold and draft. Can I see like a movement speed, or we have a pretty detailed looking inspect mode here. Okay, move points are move speed in both world map and combat, and I don't know enough about the way movement is calculated to really know what 40 means at this point. Fair enough. Yeah, give me one. Seems great, actually. So where do you have...
Selected an army. Armies are the core of your military strength. They can explore the world, attack your foes, and defend your lands.
Okay, so it looks like 6 move points is a pretty standard for just like open hexes. Forests are 8. They're using higher move values than a lot of other games to give them some increased granularity, which I'm okay with. I get this. No, I wanted to select this. How do I select? There we go. All right, banners above each army show what faction they belong to. Panel at the bottom gives more information about the army. So this is just an outrider.
An army is made up of individual units. You can see a unit's tier, unit role, and movement points in the army panel.
Okay, we have access to the same inspect here. So you have +1 vision range, +2 vision when in enemy domain. That's cool. You resist morale loss, and of course you heal fast because we heal fast. Because that's what we do around here.
Your armies can move a limited distance every turn. The distance they can move depends on the terrain they traverse.
Apologies. We'll get moving a little faster than this once we get past all the voiceover tutorial stuff. So yeah, pretty simple, moving around. Okay. Moving on to an enemy army initiates combat. What a shock. Nearby armies can reinforce the battle.
You are about to begin exploring your surroundings.
It's true. I was thinking about it.
The
I was
wide
gonna...
world holds plenty of things to find. 2 of the most valuable places you can come across are free cities and ancient wonders.
I wonder what goes into the decision to decide to voice this stuff. Because, like, everybody reads faster than they listen, right? So free cities are like neutral, small neutral states that can be taken over in a variety of ways, I assume. And ancient wonders are like ruins, can be explored by a single army led by a hero. When cleared, it can be annexed by a city. Oh, you know what? I remember this. I remember this being the case. So these are like special tiles. They're a little bit more special than ruins. Okay. Well, we very obviously have like loot sitting on the ground, right? There's a stash of knowledge over here. It doesn't seem like it matters who grabs this stuff, so I'm gonna have the scout go this way and the big army go the other way. Get ourselves some knowledge, and we'll head in the direction of this other cache over here. Cool. We do not get a sense from a distance of how much stuff is in a pile, just what the pile is. So let's see. We have here a resource vein. Food just kind of sitting on the road. Sure.
You have encountered a resource node. They provide additional yield to the province they are located in. Nodes are often occupied by marauders. To claim the node and its benefits, these guards will need to be removed first.
Okay, but not in this case, it seems like. An army bearing the tower banner represents a free city. A black banner with a skull signifies a marauder guard. The red banner signifies an army belonging to an infestation. So if you see red, there's gonna be more nearby. Okay. What is this? This is some mana. Let's head in that direction, I guess. So what do we have here? We have our lord. We have a warlock, some dark warriors, and some archers. And pretty much everything has 32 movement. Our lord is actually faster than the scout if we wanted to separate him. But I don't know if I do. It might be a bad idea, right? We want to have the army together if we happen across a thing, but I am going to separate them for the moment. If we find a, an ancient wonder, we will simply reunite people. But for right now, let's split these up so that we're getting better advantage of our movement. And we're just going to explore more tiles. We're going to see more stuff. The vision of this base army is like pretty bad, it seems like. So there's a river over there, and beyond it, a mana node. Okay, so how do I see... The borders of the province are this black border. Is that true? How would we expand out if we wanted to? Okay, this pasture is a resource node. They're probably going to explain this at some point. All right, let's set our research.
Arcane research enables you to learn new spells and acquire new units. The culture and tome you have chosen for your faction determine the initial skills you can unlock through arcane research.
So these are presented semi-randomly, and there is a shuffle button to redraw. That's pretty unusual, I think. What do the numbers here represent? Skill level 3. Inscribe magical wards onto the target race, granting... So, is this a permanent improvement in all units of a particular race? This is a summon spell, so this is a temporary unit, and the Baneful Curse is probably, like, pretty baneful. You can screw up the defense and resistance and the damage output of some units. I mean, this seems like an awfully useful thing, doesn't it?
Your empire will research the skill over time using your knowledge income. Once the research is completed, you will choose between 3 new skills.
All right, I might, it's possible that I overvalue long-term passive bonuses, but the thing about passive bonuses that's really great is I don't have to remember to use them. So is this an... Okay, this is a magic material. It is not an ancient wonder of any kind. All right, well, I guess we're just going to end the turn, right? I wonder if the city grows over time?
Stability measures how happy the people in your cities are. Outside of dark cultures, which do not suffer from low stability penalties, you generally want to keep your stability high.
Well, look at that. We're winning already. You can find the stability of your cities by hovering the mask symbol next to the city name in the city interface.
This city has grown and gained a new population. Each additional population enables you to expand the city's domain by placing a province improvement.
Okay, so the growth of the city is population based, or the terrain growth of the city is population based, making population probably really tremendously important.
Every province has different features, which determine what type of improvement can be built in it.
Click on the pin button to add the province to your city's domain. Yeah, so we get the benefit of the pastures no matter what we build here. And it seems like food's tremendously important. I kind of want to just like build a farm out here, just like really, really turbocharge our food income immediately. Okay, yeah, you can see our province borders. So there are these like there are these tiny areas that feel a little bit more like the way the word province is defined in like Endless Legend, that you just grow semi-organically over. Okay, fair enough. Well, 71 gold. Oh, we found a red border here. An infestation, no less. This would be an impossible battle.
Yeah.
And I have left myself within their movement range, so that's not ideal. Well, I guess we'll see what happens. I think we're going to bring our hero back home now, because it looks like there is some fighting to do. This army would get wrecked by my army probably without the hero present. Yeah, you know what? Let's just jump them.
To enter combat. Inspect all participants and their combined strength before deciding if you want to fight manually or have your army automatically fight the battle.
If you auto-resolve, you're allowed to pick it up and play it yourself after if you're unhappy with the result. I really appreciate that. I mean, we're going to do manual combat here, obviously, because we need to get to grips with the combat system. What are the... Is the number... Okay, the number in the top right is the number of movement points remaining on that unit. Okay. So I don't need to be stressed about the fact that their numbers are much higher than mine. Yeah, let's step in here and do the thing. So, I will say that really my core problem with Planetfall...
Welcome to the field of battle. Here, you must kill or rout your foes in order to claim victory.
Yeah, win the military battle by winning the battle. Got it. My main problem with Planetfall ended up being that the AI was really, really bad, and so combat was like trivially winnable basically all of the time. Fingers crossed that's not the case here. Nothing.
You have selected a unit. It has 3 action points to spend on moving and using abilities.
Indeed it does. Nothing brings the game down faster for me than it being too easy. Okay, so we can see I get a couple of tiles out of each movement point. Different abilities have different action point costs. Some trigger once per action point available. Using an ability will almost always end a unit's turn. So it's move, and then fight. Well, let's look at this stuff. So a charge attack gains 20% damage per hex traveled up to 3 hexes. Removes retaliation attack. We have our defense mode. Okay. Oh, that's right. Facing matters in these games. So we're going to have to be wary of that. And then we can eat corpses. All right, where's my archers? 4 hex range? Am I reading that right? That seems quite significant. So we don't really want to move forward all that much. We can't get into range to actually attack them. So maybe what I want to do right now is just sort of like move up a little bit and get ready to shoot as they come in. I don't know if this game has any concept of Overwatch yet. Yeah, I guess just like go hunker down in the low foliage. And defense mode for the moment. Do I want to be a little closer? How much can I tell how much movement they get?
Is a shock unit.
Yes.
A powerful melee fighter specializing in high damage charges. Its attacks can cancel defense mode, which makes it strong against shield units and support units. The
ability for shock, effectively like shock, this isn't cavalry, but effectively like a cavalry type charge to break units out of a defensive mode is an interesting way to balance them. So I could probably move forward a little bit more, but I probably don't need to.
Excels at dealing physical damage from a distance.
Yep. Okay. I know how a ranged unit works in theory. I am gonna just kind of like form up around this this thing here. You are just waiting.
This is a battle mage unit, which excels at dealing magical damage and applying status effects. It is vulnerable to melee attacks and should be kept in the back line.
So we have another 4 range attack here. We can spend all 3 of our action points to cast Sundering Curse. Guaranteed hit within 6. It costs 24 something. Which presumably I have. Okay, combat casting points is perhaps what that is. Interesting. So Sunder's defense and resistance applies weakness. Okay. I think I am just gonna kind of like, we'll just move up to here, let them approach us slowly. Are they smart enough not to run directly toward me? They are not.
Spells can have a variety of powerful effects and can turn the tide of battle when used properly.
Okay. So my spells require Empire level resources of mana and also some combat casting points. Unit spells require, these aren't exact, this isn't exactly the icon though, right? Do you have your own mana supply, or? Because like we could cast this Sundering Curse. I'm not 100% sure what to make of this. Is it going to just keep casting as long as I have action points left, maybe? So maybe what I want to do is move to here, where I will have range on these enemies, and then just cast like crazy.
This unit has a ranged ability selected. Ranged abilities have an accuracy rating, which is the chance that the ability will hit the intended target.
Okay, if an ability misses, it will either strike another target or do nothing at all. Some abilities can also graze. So this seems like the more dangerous fellow, right? Can I mouse over you and get, okay, yeah, I can get HP. So 60 versus 80. We might be able to just drop this dude. We're a little less likely to hit him. I'm going to take the shot at him. Let's see. Okay, we had 2 AP, so we fired twice. And you have suffered a tiny bit. I'm going to move the archer up, and also I can't fire through my own units. That's a shame. If we move to right here, I'll still have 2 action points left, so we can take a couple of shots just over the interfering terrain. All right, it's not a ton of damage, but it's something.
Your unit is within an enemy's zone of control. When a unit moves into an enemy's zone of control, it becomes temporarily pinned and cannot move for the rest of the turn.
And also moving out of a zone of control can trigger an opportunity attack. While in an enemy zone of control, many ranged and magical abilities. Yeah, so you can pressure enemy archers out. I think we got to go for this, right? Let's try to close this guy up. All right, we left the actually dangerous enemy alive, but what are you gonna do? So we got a little bit of a retaliation hit there. Is there a benefit to like flanking?
Casualties occur when a unit takes damage, which also causes the unit to deal less damage with its attacks.
Right, fewer swords swinging, it means fewer sword wounds. Makes sense to me. Okay, moving around within a unit's zone of control also provokes. That is a thing that is good to know. Applying a couple of stacks of weakened to this thing before provoking. Probably the smart move. So here we'll only have a 50%. We do want to try not to be firing through friendly units. So moving to open up that that gap was worth something. Okay. So at this point we've got several stacks of weaken on this thing, right? Can I see? It doesn't actually make super clear on the thing, like how many. There we go. It's represented in the top left, but I don't seem to be able to mouse over that. I just wanted to be able to read what level of weakening it's at, but it's fine. All right. Well, it does seem like he's going to be able to finish off those warriors if he wants.
The unit has low morale because the tide of battle is turning against it. Units with low morale might fumble attacks, while high morale can lead to critical attacks.
Would it have been worth spending mana to save that unit? Yeah, probably. I honestly just didn't think about it in the moment, but yeah, I probably should have cast like Mark of Invulnerability. But at this point, the battle is over, obviously.
Your unit just attacked an enemy from behind. This is called flanking and gives a damage bonus.
Interesting that, first of all, the flanking bonuses are applied to ranged units, because that's not always the case in these games. And secondly, it's interesting that that counted as behind. So this game's using like a 180-degree definition of front and behind rather than 4 90-degree arcs to represent front, side, back. Which makes sense with the hexes. It's a lot easier to do the 3 angles front and 3 angles back. You've beaten an army in combat, rewarding you with loot and your surviving units with experience. The more experience they get, the stronger your armies become. Makes sense. I'm not going to go and retry that, even though we totally could save that unit with, application of a spell or whatever. We will simply live with my foolishness. So we could get 69 extra mana, or we could get a Giant's Bane. This seems cool. Oh, no, we get both. Sorry, this is not a choice. This is take the things. So we have a cool sword. We have a wicked sword. How do I...
You have selected a hero. Heroes lead your armies around the world. Only they have the authority to explore ancient wonders, construct...
Yep, that's what it's about, authority.
Start a siege.
Okay. So, my friend, I have great news for you as far as being equipped with weapons goes. How do I... Here we go. Alright, so you're already equipped with a lightning orb, which gives you quick stab against nearby enemies. This would give you heavy charge strike instead. And it fully replaces. We cannot dual wield these. Well, that being the case, maybe I want to keep my ranged attack. Ranged attacks are awfully good. Oh, okay, and then they'll let you fully... we're not going to mess with this, but it's cool that this is here. Archlich Necron, the Risen, yeah, cool. We're okay with this for right now. This is a it's to some extent this is a fake game. Oh, that's an army. I probably don't want to fight for enemy units. What is that down there? Let's go have a look. It looks like a cache. Nope, it is a Marauder Guard sitting on top of something. Can I... No, I can't really mouse over the tile and see what is underneath them. It looks cool, though. We'll go get it later. And I think for the moment we're good then. There's another... Wow, okay.
You have gathered a large amount of Imperium. This represents the influence you have over the world. You can use it to acquire new cities, unlock new Empire skills, or speed up city growth.
Imperium is mainly gained by building parts of your wizard tower in your throne city. Interesting. So how do I...
This is the Empire Development Tree. Here you will specialize your empire towards certain playstyles. Increase your empire's affinity to open more options.
Okay, there are six. There are 6 different affinities corresponding to the 6 directions on the tree here. I almost said branches, but one of them is the trunk. Starting affinity points are determined by creation choices. You can get more by selecting the respective tomes during research. 6 affinity points of one type are required for the affinity's respective Tier 4 tomes, and 8 for the Tier 5 tome, which is required for reaching a magic victory. Okay. So... we have a little bit of Chaos, Shadow, and Astral Affinity coming in just kind of over time. And once we've reached certain affinity thresholds, we can spend Imperium to buy skills and stuff. Okay.
You will progress toward unlocking your next Empire skill every turn, depending on your affinity values. Once unlocked, you can spend Imperium to obtain the Empire skill. Unlike research, the Empire skills provide more passive bonuses and activate immediately upon selection.
Okay, we're also pulling 6 of this. This is general affinity. Okay.
Choosing a tome will alter your affinity, which represents your attunement to specific cosmic forces. It can also be altered by picking a signature skill for your ruler. You will require a large amount of specific affinity to unlock higher tiers of tomes.
Okay, and I was wrong. There are 6 branches. The six typed affinities are all branches, and then this general affinity is the trunk. And this is my selection of tomes, I assume? Okay. Interesting. It's so weird that your bookshelf is just like just like this little thing floating off in sort of like in the nothingness of astral space. That's a weird visual design decision. All right, well, let's poke around this way. Head back to the road. It might be time to come back. I think we're kind of like seeing the edges of what our hero is going to be able to accomplish on their lonesome. Yeah, why don't y'all come home too? We'll reunite. I'm happy to have explored a little bit more, but and it seems like the infestation army is either happy to not move at all, or maybe at least they'll leave us alone as long as we're outside of the infestation border, potentially. Oh, meeting Wary River Court. Magistrate Favenet Lunar of the Free City River Court regards you with unveiled suspicion. That is a very cool hat. So, the proud citizens of Rivercourt meet with an archlich. We suggest you approach us human paladins with caution, for you will find we do not bow as easily as you cruel deathbringers. Okay, some real string builder action going on here. Give Favenet Lunar one of your whispering stones to start negotiations and gradually improve their allegiance with you. This is just like it's a radio, basically. Having more allows you to befriend multiple free cities at once. Unused Whispering Stones can be given to your cities to gain stability. Get more Whispering Stones with Empire development. Yeah. let me see whether Rivercourt is worthy of reconciliation. Reconciliation's a big word, considering we've had no dealings so far. I think I am, in fact, going to pass them a Whispering Stone. I don't really want to go to war with a neighbor right at this moment. It does seem like human paladins would be disinclined to trust me. But, you know, maybe we'll win them over.
You have established your first contact. Once enough allegiance is gained with a free city and they've become your vassal, they can be integrated.
Which will turn them into a fully functional city under your direct control. Be mindful of your city cap. Okay, so this is our measure. We're at -2 allegiance per turn. Is that right? Base value +2. It says +1 is our allegiance per turn. Relations cautious. Maybe this number didn't update right. Pact of Cooperation in 14, which will enable trading and the next step toward our thing here. We can pay some Imperium to immediately boost allegiance. I don't know that I want to do that. I'm going to hold off on that for the moment. Because it does seem like moving up the trees is fairly expensive. Well, I guess it's not that expensive. We're producing a lot of Imperium. I guess one thing I would like to do is increase growth. Yeah, this seems like a reasonable way to spend some Imperium. Stability measures how happy the people are. Yeah, we don't really care about that. Why did it mention that? Are we losing? Okay, as the city grows, you naturally lose stability. Well, feels like building a mine over here by the gold vein maybe makes sense, but like it doesn't seem like you get any real bonus from matching the thing you're doing in the region to the resource nodes in the region. So this is grassland, river, rocky forest. Building a forester would give us 5 points of resources. So building a farm is the only thing that gets bonus resources. Farms like to be on rivers. I mean, that makes a lot of sense to me. Yeah, let's just go ahead and do that. And we'll take the gold node over here. Maybe I'm over-focusing on food. Perhaps.
Now that you have gotten a second scout, you will need more powerful armies to claim the valuable locations you may come across in the realm. Bear in mind, scouts are not meant for combat. So
okay, make a full army of 6 units. I would like to replace my lost melee. I think we should probably try to. It seems like we have pretty good ranged attacks, so we should probably prioritize when our current research is done. Prioritize like trying to find a tougher unit type to learn. These Dark Warriors are really meant to be pushing units more than holding down the fort units, but they'll have to do for the moment. All right, let's merge back up and head this way. Just deal with some other stuff out here. We've discovered a food stash and also an underground passage. What are you? A passage that allows travel to and from underground. Sure, that makes sense. Over here, we have an iron deposit. Let's get eyes on that. I want to know what we're looking at. So there's an awful lot of these floral stingers around. Slow movement, skirmisher units, so they're gonna be able to spit, thorns at range or something. Which way do I want you to go, friend? Maybe just explore further down here than we did with the other unit. That thing looks scary. A bunch of terrifying angels. And quote-unquote light bringers, although they've definitely got a pretty strong undead vibe. Alright, still a couple of turns left on that storehouse. Is there a rush complete? No, it doesn't. It doesn't look like it. Okay. Yeah, attract more population. So over here we have the ability to build a research post. You can't even build these in most places. So some research nodes or some resource nodes give you access to additional buildings. I feel like I want to get more research income. It seems pretty hard to come by, so we'd be really screwing up our stability here in a dangerous way. That would totally matter if we were somebody else. I could spend more Imperium and just buy more territory. Like, it doesn't really... It seems like a good idea. It's not clear to me why I wouldn't want to push this all the time. So 50 Imperium for basic seafaring. In a couple of turns, we're going to have... extra casting reserves, knowledge extraction, and Call of Chaos available. I guess these are interesting. Maybe we should hold some Imperium. We're gaining 40 per turn right now, so we'd be able to buy one of these skills if I don't spend any more. Yeah, alright. I will stop buying more resources. Being able to just straight up purchase population seems very powerful. So there's a chest here next to just a lot. There's a lot of neutrals in this game. So that is a 240 strength force. Let's head down this way. We got a satirical orb. Frequently misunderstood. 60% chance of inflicting despair for 3 turns, causing enemy units to lose morale. Do I want to equip that over the thing you have now? The thing you have now just does damage. This is the same amount of damage. This seems just better. Which makes sense because it's a tier 2 primary, right? I mean, sure. Yeah, that seems like a thing worth doing. It is a different damage type. If I'm interpreting this correctly, and this is indeed the damage. I do not know enough about damage types to know if that is going to be like broadly better or worse. Like, you know, what kinds of things are common in terms of resistances and whatnot. How do these work?
This is the underground. It is rich in minerals and unexplored ruins.
Apparently they changed the name of that late in development.
You can freely move between the surface and the underground.
Interesting. So there are diggable earth sections down here that are removable by excavation. This can sometimes hide treasures from marauder armies ready to attack and pillage your cities. Races with underground adaptation fare better in the underground. Sure. So it is a whole second map. Are you a flying pig archer? What is happening here? No, that's just the fletching on your bows that I was mistaking for wings. Well, shoot. It feels like we should probably be looking around down here, right? So this is earth. This is bedrock. So is this the diggable stuff? I was kind of expecting it to actually say diggable on it. Well, if you're going to go underground, do we want to turn this unit around and keep exploring up here? Because we might be keeping that one underground for some time. Then again, it does look like we're at the top of the map. Maybe that's not really the most valuable direction to be scouting in. These marauder armies seem non-mobile. Wow, there are a lot of resources down here. A watchtower. I would like to go claim the watchtower. Alright, let's start the turn with that. Okay, pretty rad. Not actually all that much information, sadly. So, a knowledge stash seems like a thing that is well worth having. Mountain tiles are a full 16 move points. That's pretty harsh. So I think I probably want to grab casting reserves. This seems really powerful, but not until you're fighting enemy heroes, right? So let's grab casting reserves. We could grab the ability to cross water, I suppose. And then the digging skill is next and available quite soon. Road building. Okay, you do have to manually build the roads out. You can increase your city cap. I'm going to grab this so we can cast a little bit more in combat. And then we actually still have a lot of Imperium left. Let me grab seafaring. I don't know for sure that we're going to actually do any seafaring right away, but it is right there. Then we're going to attract some population. So increasing our amount of draft would be useful. We can get some production going. This is production, not draft, right? Yeah, okay. Their colors are pretty similar. The important thing to look at is the over top symbol, the overlaying symbol for production is a hammer and for draft is a sword. So it's just foresters. So foresters are production as well, actually. It is not entirely trivial to get more draft. Probably you build draft buildings, right? So we don't see another immediate resource node. We know there's a bunch of stuff up here. Yeah, there's like a lot of stuff up here. I think I'm going to expand this way. And I think I wanted to pick up some more production in any case. So yeah, the workshop is how you get more draft. Experimentation chambers. Okay, so there's a whole knowledge line that is unlocked down here. What is boosted? Why boosted? Oh, okay. If you build a farm, that gets boosted. If you have population, this would require us to build a quarry. Okay, I like that actually. That's a really cool design. So there are these like little mini quests to fulfill to pick stuff up. Let's make a workshop happen. I think that's probably valuable. And then we can see about other stuff. Oh, and there's a hurry production button, but it's hidden inside here. Well, we have a ton of money and a ton of income. I think I'm just going to go ahead and rush some stuff. Let's rush that. Let's rush this. And another Dark Warrior, or I probably want... Yeah, I want more Archer. Can't hurry production more than once per turn. Makes sense to me. So bumping this up provides more NX range. And that's really it. Unlocks special province improvements. Improved income based on adjacent provinces, army effects. Okay, so they can do all kinds of things. That seems useful. We can continue pushing along the production track. I don't think we actually need all that much draft right now. I'm gonna stonemason next. Alright, so you're coming down here in the direction of the existing army. You are just gonna have a look around. So it seems like neutrals basically, like, they just don't hunt. Which I appreciate. It's interesting, too, that you can move units the turn you buy them. I feel like with a couple of cities that are kind of close together... Oh, stuff's happening. I do wish that they wouldn't they wouldn't overwrite the tutorial dialogues with other things. Magistrate Favinit Lunar of Rivercourt seems desperate. Noble Archlich Necron the Risen. Yep, that's me. I am ruined. I have gotten myself and my people into debt. My treasury lies empty, and my former benefactors are out for my blood. They've taken members of my family hostage. Oh, this is terrible. To err is mortal. Tell me how much you need. Oh, only 177. Yeah, that's no problem at all. I'll help you out. That's cool. That works for me. So that created an effect. Alignment swayed? Where can I see that effect? I don't know. I'm not 100% sure how to check exactly what the value of that was. Whatever. It's going. We're going. So one thing I definitely would like to do is just rush this recruitment along. Okay. Just the top of the world map. We actually can't go anywhere. Next turn, we can buy excavation, so I'm not going to spend any Imperium this turn. All right, you're going to make it all the way over here. We did it! Quest complete. Armies are expensive, so put them to good use. Yeah, we're gonna do all kinds of horrible things.
This is your spell list. You can cast various spells from here to bolster your units and cities, or to smite your enemies.
There are two kinds of spells. Strategic spells can only be cast on the world map, like this one, while tactical spells can only be cast during combat. Some, such as summons or enchantments, are sustained. Okay. So, race transformation. Okay, that's interesting. Granting a bonus to all the race's units, even those not under your control. So it is a thing to think about. The caster must be the race's keeper, the ruler whose empire has the biggest presence of the race. And you are always the keeper of the race you start with. Interesting. But you can wrest that away from people. A race can have a number of minor race transformations at once, and probably only one greater. But to use this, we had to consume 150 world map casting points, so it's going to siphon several turns of casting points. Okay. We also have you. Go get knowledge. Alright, got ourselves a nice big bank of knowledge. Let's select a new research. So we can make our units very fast. Target, sorry, I clicked. Target friendly unit gains a shield that has a base 60% chance of inflicting stun on attackers. That seems powerful. I'm always a little leery of something that's like, you cast this ahead of time and then there's a 60% chance it will do something when you need it. Like, that unreliability is really harsh. Grants non-dark units Cull the Weak, increasing damage dealt to enemies with negative status effects. Yo, that seems real good, actually. So that's a unit enchantment. Yeah, this seems very good for us. We have a lot of negative status applications. All right, let's take our full army here and go do some damage. All right, so what are we looking at? Some Nightmare, a couple lesser Magma Spirits, which only have 59 HP, but it looks like ranged attacks. I do wish... is this a ranged attack? Yes. I do wish that the range of it was represented in the sort of like the short version of the thing here, because whether or not an enemy has a ranged attack is such a critical consideration. And it's a bummer that you have to just be able to eyeball that. Several areas and flammable obstacles are on fire. And I'm assuming these units are probably more or less fire immune. It doesn't actually say so in an obvious way, but like they're made of magma. Let's go ahead and do manual combat. We're going to throw one more combat in here before we call the episode. Okay, they started my hero in a fire. That's probably not where I would have chosen to be. Ugh, rough. All right. What are we looking at in terms of movement from the horse? Quite a lot, actually. All right, I'm going to intentionally...
You have selected your ruler. Your ruler is a powerful combatant who can wield magical equipment.
Okay. I'm going to intentionally put my ruler in danger here, in the hopes of baiting that thing out, like, way away from its companions. I'm a little leery of standing in foliage while my ruler is on fire, because I'm assuming I will spread the fire. Actually, I probably want to stand here and then just play defense. And the rest of us are going to... Yeah, the rest of us are going to move up. Actually, with these things having 4 range, I guess our leader's actually in position here to take really a lot of damage. It's fine. You can't really die. You'll just appear in the Throne City again. So they can move as far as here. 1, 2, 3, 4. I gotta be pretty cautious about my positioning. Alright, I feel like it should go without saying that I don't want you to move in a way that would cause you to go through the lava. But apparently not. Move a Dark Warrior into the high foliage. So obscuring, 40% harder to hit with ranged attacks. Alright, it provides no like general defensive bonus for, say, defending against melee stuff. And you, the other Dark Warrior, you shall move up to here. Alright, I may have baited my own hero into a pretty bad spot here. Let's see how it goes. Interesting. They have not just like bitten on the immediate charge. That's a good sign as far as like the intellect of these enemies goes. So pretty bad shooting uphill here. If I can get up on the level with them, I can get my satirical bolt up to 60%. That's pretty soft. That's pretty bad odds. The quick stab is 16 damage. So it probably is actually better to go for if I can get it. Unless I can get the other thing off more than once, is the words I'm trying to get to. The Nightmare has way more HP. An intimidating aura, you say? Yeah, it feels like maybe just running up and punching one of them is the sensible play. I could ice shackles. You know, maybe this is a good time. We have a lot of mana. The ice shackles will hit all three of them. They'll become slowed. Did that not? Oh, do spells not go off right away? I lost the spell UI. So I'm wondering if the thing that's happening here is that we only have that these maybe don't work quite the way I want. Okay, I think what I'm going to do is, if we attack these things from down here, we're going to be shooting at a very low value, and then they're going to return fire at, I'm assuming, a much higher accuracy. But I kind of do just want to jump them, right? Probably. You have your Vengeful Flames. Yeah, I mean, there's not a ton of ways around that. If I stand in the on fire spot, I can get 2 shots at 60% on that one guy. You know what? I'm just going to do it. I'm already on fire. Okay, he resisted one of the despairs. Now I think what I might want to do actually is just fall back. As much as I don't love the idea of letting them just shoot at us from the high ground, I also don't think this approach for this guy is a good idea. And I think I want to kind of swing the whole force around up here to equalize the shooting a little bit more. Because if we can swing our ranged units up here, we can get fire off from the same height. Alright, y'all stand in that high ground. The terrain is definitely to their advantage here. I do not like all of this lumber just waiting to do terrible things to us. They have the same range we do. So I'm trying to be a little bit cautious about letting them shoot us from the hill here. This looks safe enough. Okay, there we go. I don't know why it... That was really strange that it took my casting into account, but sort of like didn't actually let us fire the cast until we'd done everything else for the turn. Okay, so these things are moving forward. They're focusing mostly on our hero, which is great news. This guy's going to try to get a flank on. All right, let's see what we can make of our ranged units at this point. The Nightmare has actually really exposed itself. And if I'm willing to endure a little bit of fire on one of my Dark Warriors, we can probably just hold it in this position and like rip it apart. Do these guys lose their... Yes, they do lose this if they're within an enemy zone of control. Okay, so we definitely want to run the hero up here. Yeah, I think I'm gonna take this charge strike. All right, so then it feels like we have a lot of control over this fight. It's gonna be easier for the archers to hit this one, so I'm gonna move to here and punch this guy. Sorry, punch. There we go. Got to use that mouse button. Yeah, come forward and fire at the Nightmare a couple of times. Watching the arrows track along the surface of the cliff is a little weird. Okay, those grazes are a real shame. I definitely want to move you. I don't love moving you through the fire, but you know what? We'll heal up after battle. It'll be fine. Because I think I want to end up standing in that spot with this unit. Alright, so this thing should be extremely weakened. Again, it doesn't seem to be trivial to like get a count of the stacks, but yeah, hopefully we will not get counter hit too hard here. So our hero does not get opportunity attacks, it looks like, but at least we forced the enemies to move, so they only get to fire twice instead of once. And I think we are pretty well in control from here. I do actually like this a lot. Setting this unit on fire, but like, I think that's a fine way to do this.
A unit just got hit by a retaliation. This happens when a melee unit is struck from within its zone of control.
That is not the correct tutorial. That's not what's supposed to be firing right now. Okay, we should be able to shut down this thing pretty easily. We only have a 30% chance to hit. I'm assuming that the damage that's being shown here is what would happen if we hit with all of our attacks. But I'm going to instead move up to here, and we're going to flip the coin a couple of times on these guys. Feeling pretty good about that. Yeah, I'd rather take 2 shots at 50 than 3 shots at 30. We'll see if we even need the charge attack. It looks like we do, in fact, need the charge attack. Go get him. Okay, this should be easy enough for us to regen all of this on the world map. And we did it. Ooh, 66 production is a wonderful thing to find just laying on the world map. That rules. So the stonemason is getting pretty close to done, and in our unit queue we are probably producing, I don't know how many scouts we need. I guess I'm probably starting to produce a second army worth of units. I mean, there are going to be times when you probably want to let the unit queue sit empty, right? Because you don't want to pay further upkeep costs. All right, so let's pick up excavation. Oh, is this not the diggable earth? No, okay. Well, then I guess come out of this underground passage. All right, we'll have to wait until next turn to actually do that. You, my friend, are doing wonderful work out here. That looks fairly serious. And for the moment, here in the tutorial, we seem largely unopposed. Our opponents are non-existent, or at least so distant that they may as well be. We're getting to sort of stretch our legs, figure out how the buttons work, and everything's going pretty well for the moment, lulling us into a false sense of security, I'm sure. That is going to be where we're going to call this episode for today. My intention here is for there to be about 5 episodes of this a week, about an hour each in length, as we explore the systems and then, take on a variety of crazy magical enemies. So come back next time for hopefully figuring out how to actually win this tutorial match. And we'll see you then.